Okay, Julia. How do you want to tackle, your issue of nursing school?
I just want to find a method of studying and learning material and retaining material that works well for me, that will help me get through the program with a decent grade so I can achieve my goal of becoming a nurse.
Yeah, understandable. How do you personally feel that you can improve on your weaknesses with the next like 7 weeks of the semester?
I think it will definitely help with one class being out of the way. It'll free up a couple hours in the evening and also some time of writing papers that I could use for studying, especially now that we're getting deeper into material and we're having more clinical time. It'll be nice to have the extra time in the evenings to study material that was learned during the day. I also think that if I sit down and study the material after the lecture, it might be retained a little bit better so that when it comes to studying for tests, maybe I won't be so intimidated because I will also kind of have a grasp on the information that is being tested over.
Yeah. What I have found out that works when I took this class last semester, um, like you would have lecture and then I would go home and I would try to set aside certain time and I would just go over like what we learned that day. And I found out that if I waited a couple days, I forgot. I would forget why I wrote down certain things, the connections that I made in class. I couldn't necessarily remember why. So by doing it like directly after class or directly when I got home, I retained a lot more. Um, and it's just like I like to rewrite my notes. I don't know about you, but I like to rewrite them. Maybe printing out the PowerPoints beforehand, generalizing the information, and like going to class with questions that could also help. Um, what are you wanting to, happen overall? Like, do you want to just become like a better test taker? Be able to not be so stressed, or like event like gradually just get better grades.
Honestly, I think all of those go hand in hand. I think if I develop better study skills, I will become a better test taker, which will decrease my amount of stress and will lead into better grades, which are all things that need to happen. But I think the biggest thing right now is developing a studying schedule, um, developing better study skills, and managing my time better prior to tests so I have the knowledge that I need and it doesn't stress me out quite as bad.
Do you use like a planner?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like before like your week would start? Do you like plan ahead for the week, or do you just like plan as you go?
I usually set out my planner and write what I plan to do on certain days. But then, of course, with everything going on recently, there are things that get moved around. And so, if one day something happens and I need to be with my family, then stuff gets pushed back, which then ends up piling into my study time, which is what I'm really struggling with right now. So, I also think when family stress and trauma decreases a little bit and things get better, um, that will also help me with my time management and being able to focus more time on developing those study skills to get the better grades and reduce stress.
So, can I give you suggestions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Almond has the tutor, and there's like a couple of them. They're great. Um, Even if you just have like questions about like how to take a test or how to take like a nursing style test, they're there to help. I also just you know learning how to answer a nursing question, it's different. It just takes time. But reviewing the exam after you take it with the instructor, that seems to help people. Um, Seeing the tutor, doing the questions out of the back of the book, that could help. You could also Google just questions about the topic that you're doing. There's some really good websites out there. um, you know, just utilizing all your resources and with practice, I think that you'll just become more accustomed to it and it'll just come easier to you. Okay, you're welcome.